Hey, it's so nice that you are here. I want to speak about beauty and the need for validation. Very early on, you learn that certain behavior and a certain way of looking that gets you attention. And it might be because you are complimented or scolded, or someone in your vicinity is. And we are meaning making machines as humans playing the human game. When you start to realize what life is really about and that it's all a game that we came to play, and that it's all about energy and that it has nothing to do with how you look, but everything to do with how you vibrate, then the game turns into a different game. But still, it's good to understand how all of this stuff works and to have compassion for the part of us that didn't know what we know now. And that is that everything comes through us and from us. And life is happening for us. Nothing, literally nothing is ever against you. It's always for you. So this need for validation, which we learned very early on by what happened around us or what happened personally to us, that will stay there until we understand what is actually going on. So, how can you self-validate without needing it from the outside? Obviously, there are it's a bit more elegant, I would like to say, because when you look at life in general, everything is pretty elegant and graceful. So I find this to be a bit more subtle, and there's much more to it than I will share with you now here, because there are layers to everything, like an onion. This whole validation thing, it's a beautiful, a graceful, elegant onion. Maybe it's a bit smelly because onions are not known for their amazing fruity smell. But in any case, I'm kind of getting off track here. So, the need for validation. Validation is nothing else than telling yourself or hearing from someone else that you are worthy. So, however they say it, if they say, hey, you look beautiful today. Wow, I love your hair. Oh my goodness, I love your body, your eyes. I like your clothes. It was so smart what you said. In the end, it all boils down to, hey, what they just said means about me that I'm worthy. And the opposite is true too. When we look to the outside, when we take on what other people say as a means of our value, as a means of, well, if they say it, then it must be true. So this is where it all gets a bit sticky and tricky. It is very nice when people give you compliments. The thing is, when you are not knowing how this game works, which is it's all an inner game and what happens on the outside is a reflection from the inner, then you will start to misinterpret how it actually really works. And also, you will start to think that when someone says the opposite, that that's true as well. Like, I remember there being a time that now you don't have this option anymore. So I was definitely one of the people that co-created this with the universe, is when people disliked a video. Even if there were a lot of likes, when there was one dislike, I would be really hung up on the dislike. Now, there's something else going on there, and that has to do with safety, right? Like how I grew up when I was a little girl, there was a lot of explosiveness around me. And I don't mean the actual explosives like bombs, but in behavior explosiveness around me. So I learned from a very young age to be super aware of everything that was around me. So it has to do with safety. The dislike meant to me, to that version of me, that I was unsafe. Obviously that's not what's going on, but that's not what my ego thinks, and that's not what the little version of me knows. It's a very subtle, graceful, if you will, programming that's going on in the background. So when with the need for validation and looking for it externally by thinking you have to look a certain way, you have to talk a certain way, you have to behave a certain way, and doing all these things on the outside to please see me, please validate me, tell me I'm worthy, because that's what all of this stuff is about, the whole social media game. Look at me, look at me, look at me. I mean, I'm also still posting things on social media, things that I am proud of, that I accomplished in the gym or whatever. But the need for validation has changed. For me, it's a sharing of, hey man, I'm really proud of this. Look at what I can do. And I don't really give a shit if people do or do not like it. Like, I don't, like, yeah, no, nice. You like it? Thank you for the appreciation. You don't like it? Well, go try it yourself. Can you do it? And maybe you're even better. And that's fine. But this is not, that's not what this video is about. This is about validation. So, I'm talking, I'm using a lot of words, and I have a feeling I'm still making sense. Maybe in the meantime, you're like, what is going on? Get to the freaking point, woman. I will get to the point, but this is also part of the point. So, the need for validation. I have a couple of tips for you, a couple of strategies for you. And one strategy is do not spend so much time on social media. Just do not. Like, it's not bringing you anything. If you watch informational stuff and you feel you get nourished, because you know the feeling between nourishment and searching for something. You know the feeling. The searching for something is like eating a lot of sugary foods, and you're still hungry at the end of all of these sugary foods and actually don't feel too well either. And when something is nourishing, when you're listening to something or reading something that is nourishing, you feel fulfilled. Same with a real meal. You actually really feel full and fulfilled. So, with this need for validation, what you actually want is you want validation from yourself. How can you get that validation? Because you can do things for that, in addition to meditations and feeding yourself literally nourishing foods, nourishing foods, and paying attention to what you're thinking and spending time with people that uplift you. It's also external again, but we're also still social beings. So you know what works for you. When you go and you go look for other people to make you feel better because you feel shitty, then that's not going to work. But when you feel good, you have a nice day, and you're like, yeah, man, I'm going to spend time with my besties, with my homies, with my lover, with my whoever you want to spend time with, then it can be very nourishing, nice interaction. But there's also something else that I want to share with you, and that is sharing something vulnerable. And that is something that I get increasingly better at. I'm already pretty good at sharing vulnerably, and there are always new levels to reach with yeah, in this game as well. And so, with regards to sharing vulnerably, if you want to try it on, then what works is this: feel within yourself the thing that you are scared of sharing. And I bet that the thing that you are scared of sharing, what I also want to say is share it within a group that's safe. So don't put it out there. Well, if you feel comfortable doing it, do it. But if you're still a bit new to this game, then try to find a small group of people you share this with at first hand, because it can be very nervous on the nervous system. But so when you notice being scared of sharing something, I can tell you you're scared of sharing it because there's a lie. There's a lie that you're telling yourself about it. Because fear, the whole energy of fear means it has to do with the ego and survival. Because there is thriving and there is ease and there is parasympathetic nervous system, and there is stress and fear, and that is sympathetic nervous system. And I think I'm saying that correct, because I find it so illogical that the one is called sympathetic and the other is called parasympathetic. And sometimes I think that in language they do things on purpose because they don't make sense. Like, this is a sidestep, but it's also important here. Bashar speaks about how inflation of money is actually the exact opposite of what's happening. Because when you inflate something, it gets bigger, right? But with money, the worth is less, which makes no sense. And for me, it's the same with parasympathetic and sympathetic. So I'm just going to go for the fear response. The fear response is the not truthful one. It is not true. And so you know that's there. I wanted to say there. That's where the gold is. When you get fearful, you know that you're thinking a lie. And when you confront that lie head on and you say, you know what? Yes, I'm scared of sharing this, but hey, I'm going to do it anyway. And you explain this in your share, then you will feel extremely liberated. And you know why? Because authenticity connects you to yourself. Authenticity connects you to yourself. And you release the shadow by doing stuff like that. You bring something that is kind of hidden within you, you're embarrassed, you bring it up to the light. And I bet that when you share that so many more people feel a relief. Because everyone is dealing with the same things, dear dudes. Everyone has their own flavor of the same problem, challenge, thing. We're all just walking each other home. That's what's going on. So I want to end this monologue with a quote. And this quote is also in my recent free ebook. And my ebook is for everyone that is interested in changing their beauty energetically. And I have 10 tips in here. And in addition to 10 tips, I also have some analogies to bring home the points of this book, like to explain what is actually behind the tips that I mention. And there are some quotes in there, and I want to share one of the quotes with you. And that is this: beauty begins the moment you decide to be yourself. Beauty begins the moment you decide to be yourself. This is from Coco Chanel. And dude, that's it. You are already perfect. You just forgot that you are. So I know you like this video because you are still listening. If you would like to receive the free ebook, then check out the link in the description. And if not, then I love you just the same. And for now, I am saying a good evening, and I will see you in the next. Bye.